Hi everybody, it's Dave from Doctors of Running, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new ASICS GlideRide Max. This will be a super trainer coming from the company, and it'll fall in between the ASICS Super Blast 2 and the ASICS Gel Nimbus series. This is a continuation upon the GlideRide series, so it will be using the guide sole technology, essentially meaning that sharper forefoot rocker on the front to really give you that rolling sensation through the forefoot and a little bit of bounce as well. This shoe does continue with the trend of having a plate. Although it's not really a plastic plate that we've seen before, this one's actually a hard-pressed EVA. So it's a little bit more flexible than the previous GlideRides that we've seen. You can bend it, but there's still enough rigidity to give you that rolling sensation through the forefoot. This shoe will also be having a brand new midsole, and it functions more as a top sole in this model, but it is Flight Foam Blast Max. And it's a little bit softer, a little bit bouncier, and I think it is noticeable, especially as a top layer. The underside here of the rest of the midsole is Flight Foam Blast Plus Eco, which we've seen in some of the other models as well. A lot of cushioning, but kind of a firmer essence to it. So you have a real soft, plush, bouncy top sole and kind of a little bit of a firmer underside there. So that's essentially the main configuration of the shoe. Engineered mesh upper also as well. When we look at specifications, this shoe is 44 millimeters with stack in the heel, 38 millimeters with stack in the forefoot. So that is a 6 millimeter drop platform. And at weight, men's size 9, 10.1 ounces and 287 grams. Women's size 8, 8.8 ounces and 251 grams. I have 15 miles on my pair so far, so these are more initial impressions and basic review. We'll get more miles on this and really kind of hammer out the details, but so far in my initial impressions, I've been very impressed with this model. I really like how the shoe operates. I did neglect to tell you guys, this is a ASICS outsole that is new. It's a hybrid type of outsole, so it's meant to be durable, but also keep weight off as well. So when we run in this shoe, it feels like the GlideRide shoes of the past, but it does have some of those new elements. And I will say that instep is very noticeable and much softer than the previous models. When you land on that heel, you have that first little layer of Blast Plus Max, and it really softens that landing. But then you kind of have the firmer underside that carries you through the midfoot, and then you really get that nice smooth toe off through the forefoot. Because of the extra flexibility, I did find it to be a little bit more comfortable at daily paces and very rhythmic. And at the same time, I felt like when I was going up a hill, I could dig into the forefoot a little bit easier than I could in the previous models because it was just so stiff. So I do feel like the toe off is a little bit more natural in this model. The upper on the fits very well. There's a decent amount of forefoot volume up here and plenty of room for swelling accommodation. The lacing system hugs the foot well. The width throughout's pretty normal through the heel, midfoot, maybe slightly wide in the forefoot there, especially accommodating some of the volume. The laces do bite down a little bit on the tighter side, especially more on the dorsal aspect on the top here, but all in all, it's a pretty good lockdown. When we look at the heel collar is pretty plush around. There is a heel counter that's pretty rigid, but it's padded well. I had no issues with it. Overall, this is definitely more of an upper on the plush side of things. Despite that, I felt it breathed really well. I just did a run in probably 80-ish degree weather, and it was sunny, and I didn't really have any issues. And I actually am very pleased with the fit overall. I do wish there was a little less pressure right here, but for the most part, it's a very comfortable upper. It is secure. I didn't have any issues with turning. I haven't tried really pushing the pace in it, but this is a shoe meant more for daily mileage and long runs anyways. But I have been very happy with my mileage so far on the GlideRide Max. Outsole traction, it's noticeable. It does its job. There's better outsoles out there, but I think for what the intended purposes are on road or runnable dirt, like it'll do just fine for the purposes. As far as stability on the shoe goes, I feel like it's relatively stable. It's definitely a neutral shoe, but there's some light sidewalls in there and a little bit of guidance features. And then I think that forefoot rocker with the wide platform underfoot does kind of give you a little bit more of a base of center under the forefoot there. So the shoe is a max cushioned shoe, but it does actually feel relatively grounded when you have it on. So I've actually been very happy with the GlideRide Max. I think this will be one of the top contenders for that maximum cushion shoe going forward for the rest of the year. So that's our review of the ASICS GlideRide Max.